great and we will exit. My name is Arun Nagashet, and I'm very happy to have you with us for the International Stammtisch in the month of May. If you haven't participated yet, International Stammtisch is a long-going venue of sessions and invitations by some very high value and interesting organizations who have started inviting newcomers, foreigners, but also locals for regular sessions. And if you don't know about International Stammtisch, we will have a chance to present a little bit and talk a little bit about International Stammtisch. Tonight, we've got a very special guest. We've got Brother Paulus, and we've got Michael Gehrig from Deutsch-Britische Gesellschaft, who is going to introduce our guest to you. Michael, stage is up to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Arun, and thank you above all for the organizational talent that you bring into the International Stammtisch. And Judith Georgi, thank you so much that you, as a host representing the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, that this is a further proof of our splendid cooperation in the past years. In the background, you see Liebfrauenkirche, the spiritual home of Brother Paulus, so to say. It has been a habit that from the steering committee, there is the introduction to the speaker, and tonight it is the Deutsch-Britische Gesellschaft Rhein-Main, who, by the way, turns 70 this year, and is looking forward if the one or the other participant to this meeting also checks with the Deutsch-Britische Gesellschaft, probably to join the one or the other meeting, probably on May the 26th, when there will be a lecture on Shakespeare, for example. And if you check via Google, you will find us, and then I will find you if you signal the interest. Mission Impossible. Where did it start? Well, it started actually when a young man, Bernhard Gerhard Terwitte, joined the Capuchin order in 1978 and turned into Bruder Paulus. He studied philosophy and Catholic theology in Münster and in Graz. And then he was ordained. He received the sacrament of ordination in 1985. What were further stations of his Mission Impossible? He worked in Offenburg from 85 to 89. But he did not just in his work show the people the Bible and said, if you have a question, you'll find the answer in the Bible. He perceived, even as a young man, that there was more to the complexity of the human being than just letting them know about the Word of God. So he studied and trained pastoral psychology field of Gestalt counseling, and he also did courses in integrative design counseling, so that he could meet the complexities of the demands when talking with people about the church, about God, or when taking people's hand and guiding them to help themselves, because this is one important aspect in his work, that it is enabling the people probably to find solutions to the problems and to put their fate into their own hands. He moved to, in 1992 to Gera in East Thuringia, and there he mainly worked in hospital pastoral care. So he has a very deep understanding of the problems the people come and see him at the Franziskaner Treffpunkt. Then in 1998, he was sent to the Capuchin monastery Liebfrauen in Frankfurt am Main. And being in Frankfurt, he thought, well, let's also think about ethics in business. And he didn't hesitate to negotiate and to talk with business people. And then from 2006 to 2009, he was head of the Dieburg Capuchin Monastery, and then the Kapelle Monastery in Würzburg, and then came back to Frankfurt, to Liebfrauen, and founded the Franziskus Treff, an aid organization for homeless people. And since March 2013, he was chairman of the Franziskus Treff Foundation, which offers cheap meals for the homeless and does more assisting these people. And I recall that now he handed over to Bruder Michael to become independent and to have more time for events like the one tonight, to enrich people with his ideas about his mission impossible. He opens up. He is represented in the media. And in 2004, the ZDF produced a report entitled, great title, The Manager of God. Well, and then he had, as a city pastor, was in discussion rounds, in talk shows, Anne Will, Maybrit Illner, you name them. And in further programs, Reden über Leben. And I think that this is a proof for a contemporary approach about the relevance of the church, that it is still given and that there is still the chance to reach the people, be it via a moderator. Because from 2002 to 2010, he discussed in his own talk show in the series N24 Ethics, Gottes Willen, an expression that you come up with quite often. He published his first book with the title, I Was Changing, You Emailed Me. And so we see that this mission impossible is not restricted to the environment of a church, to the environment of a monastery, but that it means to open up. And we are so privileged to have you tonight so that we can say, let's hear about your mission impossible in detail. And thus the virtual floor is yours, dear Bruder Paulus.
Oh, thank you very much, Michael Garrick, for this lovely introduction. And I feel happy to see the Liebfrauen Church in your back, to see an insight in our church. I'm Brother Paulus, and I'm glad to have time now in this evening with you. And because I want to, that we can prove that I'm here really in Liebfrauen, I will take you a little bit here outside of my window. You can see, wait a moment. Wait a moment, okay. Here you see my window and my look outside on the Liebfrauen Church. I hope you can have this beautiful look I have here in the center of Frankfurt. I take you back, wait a moment. And this place of silence we have here in our monastery, and the people are very glad to find this place of silence. If you go from Hauptwache, S-Bahn station Hauptwache to Römer, then you will see on the right-hand side Burger King, and on the left-hand side you can find Punctum. It's an information point of the Catholic Church in Frankfurt. And then you have to go inside to find our court, where you can light candles in front of the Holy Mary. Every day, 1,500, 2,000 candles being enlightened, and the people come here to pray. Not only Christians, we have also Jews and Muslims and Catholic people, Hinduistic people, a very interreligious place here, a place of power where people find new hope for their life. So I'm happy to live here in Frankfurt since 1998. I came first time to Frankfurt. Then I left Frankfurt 2005 and I returned on 2010. And since then I'm here in the city of Frankfurt. And I want to introduce you to my person and also to my Mission Impossible and what we want to show to the world. Also here from Liebfrauen, I will take you on my my computer here. Here you see the chief. On the left side is Brother Michael, is the chief of a convent. I was here the guardian for 16 years. Guardian is the name which St. France 800 years ago gave to his friars. He didn't want to call them prior or abbas, father. No, there's a guardian in a convent, guardian to guard the people, to guard the flock here. I'm now a sheep here in my convent, and we have 8 friars here, and left is Michael. Now and the other friar is Stefan. He is responsible for the life in the church, for the services we give to the people in the church. Every day we have 3 mass services, on Sunday 6, every day morning and afternoon confession. Every evening we give time for people who want to be counseled. And we have different friars here. Here you have a look here. There is situated our church in the Liebfrauenberg. And I told to Michael, and I think I can tell it also to you, that in this church you find arts of glasses. The windows of this church are built by Wilhelm Geyer. And I want to notice this evening, because you had heard the last 2 days about Freisler. It's the judge in the Hitler regime. He was judge in the Hitler regime, and he damned to murder. No, damned to, was heißt denn Hinrichtung? Damned to. Egal. Sophie Scholl and others were killed in this Nazi regime, and this artist who made the glasses and the windows of the Liebfrauen Church, he made this realistic expressionism, was taken away from the Nazis. It's not good what you do. And in Munich, this artist, Wilhelm Geyer, had a room where he worked, and he gave to the Geschwister Scholl, the sisters Scholl, Hans and Sophie Scholl, his machine to make the pages with which this young people wanted to give informations to the people in the town that they have to do something against Hitler. And this artist was then, Wilhelm Geyer was taken to the court, and he was condemned to prison by Freisler. I give you this information because it touches my heart to live in this place here. And this is my convent, 8 friars. We do the service here, and one service is the Franziskus Treff. This is Michael, who is also the leader of the Franziskus Treff, and all these are volunteers, people who help us to serve the poor, which come in our Franziskus Treff. Normally every day 180, and now in Corona times 90 people, and we serve them with breakfast, and we give them the opportunity to be counseled by a social worker. And we want to give to the poor people the experience of fraternity. Fraternity, we want to remember them, that in their heart there are worth to live, and there is a power they can begin with a new life, and we want to guide them to new ideas and new power. And some of our guests, you see here somebody, they tell us it's a mission impossible to begin a new life. It's a mission impossible to start in a new way, and I think it's not a mission impossible, it's possible. And we have some examples where people find a way to life. Today I got an email from a woman. She was homeless in Frankfurt in 2000. She came to our breakfast, and now she sent me a book she wrote a book about cooking with the Bible, and she gave it as a gift to me to give thanks to us that we gave her help in poor times in her life. Franziskus Treff Stiftung, and we do not get money from the church and not money from the state. The money we get is only from benefactors, and 5 euros, 10 euros, 100 euros. People gave us money that we can have 5 workers who prepare all our things for the breakfast for our volunteers. Every day 5 volunteers and 2 paid workers are working here in the Franziskus Treff. And this is what I do and what we do here in the center of Frankfurt. You see, we have a place living together, fraternity in a convent. Second is we are praying in the church. And the third is we give bread to the poor. And when people come here in our place, they see, oh, this is something like in heaven. Because there are living people together. They never would live together without the vocation, the religious vocation. With my brothers, I don't want to go to holiday. No, really no. As you don't want to go to holiday with your neighbor. No, we are living together because we are believing in God. And he gave us this mission of peace in this town that people can live together. All can live together, not family, not loving, not partnership, brotherhood, fraternity. And it's a great mission we have here for our town in Frankfurt. It's not a mission impossible. You can see our convent and we are living together, and I'm still alive. They didn't kill me, my brothers. Every day we come together for praying and discussion, and I love them by my vocation. And I will talk to you some minutes later about this vocation. But you see this mission impossible that we can live together, and then praying, spiritual life, and then spiritual life. You do not have spiritual life for your own. And this you can read books. I see books on Amazon and so on. Be a spiritual man to engage your life, to get more power, to come more up, to get more money, to have success. Yes. No, meditation is nothing for you. Meditation is for the other. There sometimes comes people, I want to come to the monastery to you, Brother Paulus, because I want to find myself. And my answer is then this place is not the right place, because if you come to me, I will guide you not to find yourself. I will guide you to find your brother in your near. This is what we have to do. And you will get sense and joy in your life when you open your heart and you go to the others. This is a mission I have in this town, and we have in this town, and we want to give to the people. Let me tell you something about our homeless, because this international Stammtisch I heard is founded because people who came to Frankfurt for work or studying to begin a new life in Frankfurt. When I see it, it's a reason for this Stammtisch. And I will welcome you. You are new in Frankfurt because you are homeless. Yes, you went away from your home, from your Lions Club, from your doctor, teeth doctor, from your neighbors you had, from your friends, and you came from England or from America, and so you come to Frankfurt and you're homeless, and welcome in our Franziskus Treff. You have to bring 50 cents, and then you will find a good breakfast here in the Franziskus Treff. I don't want to make a joke, because if somebody leaves his country, then he will find himself as this man who sits there looking to the people. You know no one, you know your place, your office, and you know your bed. Yeah, that's fine. But you didn't know no one here. And how can you, what is your mission now in the town? To earn money for your life? No. Your mission is to bring your heart in the near of the heart of the other people. And how can you do this? You don't have to buy a dog. If you have a dog, you can come in contact with other people who have a dog. It's enough if you say a really good morning. If you go in the morning out of your room, your apartment, and then you wait on the street and you see 1 hour or half an hour later, another is coming out of your house where you are also live, and you can say, hello, good morning, I'm new. Can you please tell me something? I want to buy bread. Where can I do this? Don't use Google. You know Steve Jobs made these machines, and on the back on the machine you see a fruit. Okay, what kind of fruit it is? It's a bite apple, and this is a remembering of the first page of the Bible. And Steve Jobs made this apple on this machine because he wants to tell the people, please don't bite in this machine. If you think that you can become God with this machine, if you eat this machine in your life, then you will kick yourself out of the paradise. And therefore, please, if you have a question, don't Google this question, ask your neighbor. Ring at the bell and say, please, I don't know how I can cook a German Eisbein. Please, can you give me a good idea how I can make German Eisbein? And then you will see, reading your neighbor, saying, I don't know how I can Eisbein, but why don't you want to eat Eisbein? And then you can answer, I have heard I have to eat it in Germany because all Germans eat Eisbein. And that is not real. So you can come in a good contact and you will see we have also grüne Soße in Frankfurt. And then you can come in contact. So I tell you this, I think this is the mission of my guests here, my homeless guests here in the Franziskus Treff. They don't have needs. We have needs. We have needs. We have needs to become more simple. And we have needs to learn that answering maybe is a great task, but the greater task is to question something. That is not the art of questioning you have to learn if you come to Frankfurt. And my homeless brothers here, they have to learn it. Where is the office? Where can I get a sleeping place? Where can this? Please question and please switch off your Google. We have a time. We are all here mini computers as Frankfurt inhabitants. You can talk us and we will answer you better than Siri or Alexa or somebody. Please ask us the questions. Why do I tell you this in this manner? Because this in my heart, this you see, this is my ego side of the website. I'm so humble that I show to all the people how God created me as a great Capuchin. So I have my ego side in the internet. Please, okay, I will have to show you this because I want to show you. But I want to give you I want to give you the reason what idea I have. Do you know what city this is? This is the city of Assisi. Oh. The city of Assisi. And in this city lived a man, St. Francis of Assisi. And he's a very famous man, very well known and all over the world. And now we have Pope Franziskus. So it's better known. And this man in Assisi, he had an spiritual idea. I don't want to tell you the whole question, but I want to show you what is this mission we have to follow in our life. This is from Giotto. This is a painting of Giotto in the Basilica of San Francisco in Assisi. And you see the father of St. Francis and his friends, the red friend and the other friends on the left side, the father of St. Francis, and of the other side, you see the naked Franziskus of Assisi, and he raises his hands to the hand who is there in heaven. You see there in heaven. And this moment he tells to his father, I don't have a father on earth. My father is in heaven. And this sentence, with this sentence, he expresses the idea that if we have a father on earth, a mother on earth, they are given to us to become free women and men, to build the family of all humans in the world. So as father and mother has to learn that they don't get their children for themselves. I hope you know this, that you did not get children in your life for yourself. You got them for the others, to give them free. And as Michael Gierig's passion is to build people, to give education, to give formation, to build free men, free women. And the mission of parents is to give life to the children, that they can go in the world and give what they get from their parents to the others. And as a mother who has a child in groom cannot say, it's my child, it's so good, that's my child, I want to have my child only for myself, then she will murder herself and her child. She has to give the child. And therefore, the mission of people in the world is to give themselves to the others. And St. Francis of Assisi, you see his picture, his idea was that we are all rich. We are all rich. And so, because we are all rich, so we can discover that also my neighbor is rich. And when I ask him for something, then I worship him. When I tell him, please, can you help me? Then it is a confession of mine that I see his richness. And because I am rich, I can discover his richness. You see what we have, the discussions in our society, who has more, who has less, who has got the first vaccination and the second, and who is better and who is not good, and so on. This discussion in our society we have on very various levels. We have the answer of Franciscan friars is, please, yes, we have all different gifts in our heart and our life. Our lives are different, but the first is that we are rich, and we have to discover the richness of the world and to have a new connection for this. So if you are new in Frankfurt, I invite you heartily to come to the Liebfrauen Church. We are open from 6 in the morning to 9:30 p.m. in the evening. We are the most open church in the city, and you can smell our incense, and you can see you have the holy water, we have the Holy Mary, we have adoration, and we have the breakfast for the poor, and you can see this holy man, 8 friars living in the convent. And so you can get a new power for your life, that also you have this mission to serve the world, not America first, not Brother Paulus first, no. First is we have to go together. We have, because everybody is rich, and we have to accept and to help the other to discover this richness. And therefore, you are new in Frankfurt, or some of you are new in Frankfurt. I will welcome you as a citizen of Frankfurt, that we need your richness. And please don't sit at home and wait if somebody wants to call you. How can I discover your richness? Therefore, please show your richness. You don't have to make an ego site like me in the internet to show yourself, but I want to give you I want to engage you, that you give your richness to our town and to your office. And the most richness you can give is, oh, this old word, old word is love. Yes, I have to use this word. Love means not to have a good emotion. I'm living here with love phrase, and I can tell you that good emotions are very rare, okay? So it's a task every day, but love means I accept that you are so great, so unique. And if you disturb my thoughts, if you disturb my concept of life, then I will welcome you, because maybe you are an artist to make the art I am a little bit better, a little bit more. You can help me to growing up. And therefore, this concurrence, I don't know, is this the right English word, concurrence? Concurrence?
Good word.
Huh? What is it in English?
Was geht?
Konkurrenz?
Competition,
No,
for example.
Ja, Konkurrenz, Competition?
meinen Sie Wettbewerb oder meinen Sie
Konkurrenz?
Ja, Konkurrenz is concurrence. It's the same in English. Concurrence,
Yes.
same in English.
Concurrence, okay. Concurrence comes from the English word concurrere. And concurrere is means not to work against each another, means to come together to a center. Yeah, to come together to a center. And if we come together with our different tasks and our different charismas and so on, then we will help each another to grow and not to battle against each another. And this is the idea of the sozialen Marktwirtschaft, the idea of the really growing economic, that we don't want to kill each another. Homo hominis lupus, huh? The man is the wolf for the others. No. But to come together and to serve the world with the different possibilities everybody have. And so not I want to make me great. No, I want to make you great. And if I make you great, I will grow myself. Yeah, I will grow myself. If I make you great, I will grow also myself. And if I want to make me greater, I will become smaller and smaller. You see, Trump, it's pardon that I tell this example. I have also other people in my friary, and they're also friars. They say, Brother Paulus, you are so great, you will become very small. Huh? Yes, maybe. So I want to tell you that this hope that when I bring up another man to grow up, that I will grow with him. When if all my willing is to bring up people to come forward, then they will take me with them. They will take me with them. It's a new community. If we are a community of concurrence, who are who are making a concurrence to make the other greater. Make the other greater. make the other greater. And as Germans, after the World War, America made us great. Made us great. We have to be thankful for them. And if America had thought 70 years ago, we want to become great, and we want to remain greater than Germany, they wouldn't bring us more up. And so our living together needs this. I want to make you great, and then maybe I become a little bit greater myself. So this was my ideas for you this evening, and I hope I could give you some ideas, and I am very interested for the questions here. Please pardon for my poor English. I learned it in school in northern Germany 40 years ago. I don't have practice in this, but my teacher, he was very interested to teach us a very good Oxford English, and he trained it as very, very, very hard. And so I'm very glad that I could make this evening with you after so many years not talking English or other things. So thank you very much.
Brother Paulus, you're doing very well, and probably we could listen to you all evening long. Your English is perfect, and we enjoy listening to you very much. When we talked early, I think it was beginning or end of last year about this session today, we had something in mind, or something came to your mind about being, if everybody goes first, how can we work together, and how would that be? I think you reflected on that very well already, but it came in a time when coming first was a discussion. Obviously, it was based on the Trump-US discussion and so on. I think a couple of months later, we are in Corona situations. We are in a situation of vaccination. There is a priority in vaccination, who goes first. There is the idea of stepping back to help others and let others go first. What are your thoughts on this coming first and going first, rather than working together, which we can see as a discussion right now?
Yeah, I'm not so pessimistic. It's normal. If we have here a feast with other people, maybe the famous German Bratwurst, yes. And I remember here a feast with 200 people in our court here in Liebfrauen. And then there was Deutsche Bratwurst and meat. And then up to 12 o'clock, then the first Bratwurst was given to the people. And there was a run, as the last 2 weeks, there were no Bratwurst in Frankfurt. Also to be first, yeah, to be first, it's normal in our life. And I think if it remains as a play, it's okay. But when I see that some people spend their money to go to Russia to get a first vaccination, or if I see that I know this, that doctors also I had a temptation, because we have now priority 2 in our breakfast here, and so may I give a sheet to some friends, so to lie to the officers that they can. So the doctors I think they ring up their friends, come to me, and I don't hope this is too much in Germany. It's a normal. So please don't. I'm not so pessimistic. Other side, it's right. If I remember now this protest in Frankfurt, the 1st of May, is there really love in the heart of the people who make protests? Do they want to earn something for others, or only for themselves? Also to serve others is something which is given by a good education, and to serve others. But for example, if you have parents, it's a little bit of my own story. If you have parents, they have the thoughts, my boy has to do what is my plan for him. So he has to go to the gymnasium, but it would be better to go to Hauptschule. if parents are taking their children not as a gift, but they want to own themselves, then children learn that owning something is better than giving something. And therefore, we have this idea also here in the capitalism. But you see, the good capitalism, Henry Ford told, my workers have to earn so much money that they can buy a Ford. They have earned so much they can buy the car they make. And these are very simple economic very simple economic truth, that if we don't make each another rich, then that cannot fit. And we see the crisis of the bank, the collapse of the banks years ago. It was a collapse made from egoistic economic people. Yeah. So therefore, for this, I'm not so pessimistic. I know the man is. If you see Winterschlussverkauf, you see the people, they want to buy something. Everybody wants to be first. Maybe yes, but in the normal life, I'm not so pessimistic.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your views. We had one question which came fairly early during our discussion right now. That was a very straightforward question: is how can we help? That means what are the things which citizens, newcomers, people like us can do when working with Franziskus Treff? What are the needs and what are the requirements? How people can help?
How you can help? We are good settled here with freelancers and volunteers and so on, but we have to pay our social workers. If you give every month €5 to the Franziskus Treff Stiftung, or maybe 11 euros. 11 euros are the costs for one breakfast we give. So costs are 1,100 euros a day. If you give 11 euros to the Franziskus Treff Stiftung, then you never have to give some euro, €1 to other beggars you find in the city. This is what I think you see poorness in Frankfurt. I will give a very open word. I know it's recorded, but I will give it to you. You see here the poor in Frankfurt, in Zeile and so on. I can guess you they are not poor. Really poor people do not go in the official area. The real poor people is a mother who has 2 children. She has to go to work. She has to go do something for them. She does not get enough money from the father of the parents. That's really poorness. And so open your eyes in your neighborhood. Don't look to people who show you their poorness. The poorness are in your house. Make a ring in the door and you will find old people who have nobody. This is, pardon when I tell you, I'm very glad if you give 11 euros a month, okay? I'm very glad for this because we need this. But it would better to go by bus and to see an old woman going with the car and to say hello. And if maybe it's a possibility for you to connect to her. I'm here in Frankfurt responsible for 5 old people elder than 80 because I want to do private also something good, not only official. And they have nobody, 92, 97 years old, 87 years old. And so find in your neighborhood people and say hello. And don't go to them, I want to help you. No, please help me. Help me. If you go to an old man who is going on the street, don't go to the man and say, I want to help you, because if I find you in the street and I will go to you and tell you, can I help you? Yeah, may I help you? Then you will tell me I don't need help, I can help myself, and so on and so on. But if I question you something, then you will open your mind and you will help me. And therefore, this is my answer. You're very, and please in your network, share our website name, share our videos, make connections, and for maybe if you are in a, it cannot be a great feast in your office of a birthday because of Corona. Please tell them we cannot go in the canteen, we cannot go grüne Soße essen. Let's gather the money and give to the Franziskus Treff. You are very welcome, but I tell you, it's better that you do something for a good atmosphere in the whole city, so that there is really poor people were discovered. And I will tell you and I stop my answer now, but if you see a poor man on sale out of Corona times, then you have to know that in this day, 220,000 people will pass him. 220,000 people will pass him. And if every thousandth will give him €1, in the evening, he have 220 euros. This is in the month, 6,500 euros. And this is the amount they get every man who sits there get this amount every month, 6,000 euros. And so if you see there an actor of poorness, be kind, don't begin to talk to him, because this is not good for his business. Yes? And he will give you away. And then maybe, maybe you will find really some poor. Also, this is possible. Then begin a responsibility for him. But you are not God. Please help only one man in your life. Only one, not 1,000, one. And in German we have gerichtlich gestellter Betreuer und solche Geschichten. Yeah, we have these possibilities.
Thank you. Very great insights. I can see more questions. One in the chat. Jean, Craig, Gregor, I read your question, but I'm not sure whether we answered part of it. I'm inviting you to please open your mic if you want to ask questions to the other ones as well. We are a group of around 50 people, but if you want to ask a question, I'd love to have you ask it directly. Brother Paulus is here, so it's a wonderful opportunity to speak to him and ask him directly. Jean, I don't want to expose you. If you want to, you're more than welcome to raise the question directly.
Bruder aus Kuwait. Hier ist der Gregor. Here's Craig Combs. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Nice to have you with us. Gregor, please, did we get your question right, or did you feel that parts of it were answered, or what was the background?
As a international traveler who hasn't traveled for 14 months, but as a worldly person who is very thankful to still have all guarantees of full employment, I look with shame around me, even here in Kuwait, at the expatriates who are not able to have their full-time job, who are being told, here's your plane ticket, go home, whenever you can find a flight home, because there is no more work for you. Mm-hmm. This is a country which is run, in effect, by the expatriates working in service for the Kuwaitis overall. I'm privileged to work for an organization that doesn't serve the Kuwaitis necessarily. I serve the United States instead, as if you can't tell from my accent. The question is in regards to previously, Frankfurt in particular, Germany as a whole, when I lived there, struggled to identify and assist those sorts of people that the good Bruder was describing, like the single mother who didn't have all of the resources necessary to actually make sure there was food on the table for her children every day. They were the chronically disadvantaged, the chronically below the horizon individuals. And there were some good organizations in Frankfurt when I was there last, leaving in 2018, that were dedicated to trying to open their doors and publicly let people know that there were possibilities available, that there was no shame in coming and asking for some help. But I'm afraid those organizations may have been overwhelmed by the new poor, those who have lost their jobs because of COVID-19, as I described the expatriates here in Kuwait. And I'm sure that there are hundreds, if not thousands, who've also lost their jobs in Frankfurt, in Hesse, in Germany. So if those people who are chronically suffering before, it was difficult enough to reach them previously, how now can the resources be made available to them with all of the demand for those new sufferers, those newly displaced, those newly disemployed that Frankfurt, Hesse, and also Germany are trying to deal with? That's my question in a nutshell, is how to deal with the people that the good Bruder was talking about, who've always been in the shadows, and take care of them. Because the state is in some ways, the city is in some ways already trying to take care of the newly disemployed or the newly underemployed. But those who weren't part of that umbrella, who've always been outside of that assistance network, who've been in the shadows, how or what can be done to try to assist them? That was the root of my question. Forgive me for being such a long question.
No,
but
absolutely fine. And we needed that guidance. Thanks, Greg, for pointing that out. And I'll give it to Brother Paulus to reflect on that. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, I think this is a good question that we have now in our society, new poor people. Yes, it's new. We have new social problems. In these times, in these times also stranded employees also in Germany cannot go back, cannot go home, and there are new problems, and so this is the one you see as you see these new problems, and you pointed out these new problems, and our answer, and then what is now with the people who are also who are always in poorness, in the shadow. What is with them? So we can remember that Germany, we have the social market economic, yes, and in Germany we are well organized to give ground help to all the people. And we will see after the Corona crisis how the state will have money enough to bring forward this model of social help. I don't know how they will do this because of this crisis. So I'm not so pessimistic that the running system of social help, is still running. If you see, I give you one example. It's very. If you see the Pflegeheime, the people the old people we have in Germany here, the old people in the Pflegeheime. One place costs 4,200 euros a month. 4,200 euros a month, and everybody is allowed to go in to take such place. If there are people that have only 900,000 euros, the rest is paid by the city and by the citizens. So we give very many money for this people who are in the shadow of the society, and the new poor you talked about, the new poor, we have to identify them. And we have to find a system how to sustain them, especially the strangers. We have not found a solution for this. The Americans and the African people who have to stay here in Frankfurt, they cannot go home, and who will give them help? And so we have to find solutions for them, and I'm sure that we have in different Vereine?
Organizations.
Organizations. We have different organizations. You can they can talk with them.
Agreed. Thank you for pointing that out. I think you made the point within the organizations and within the different clusters of where people are taken care. I think, yes, we are seeing a more intense work and probably the problems are rising because of the Corona situation. But I would kind of agree that yes, within the organizations, the help is there and is still focused on these groups and on these people. Greg, thank you very much for the question in any case. Are there any more questions? Please, again, feel free to open your mic and ask questions directly. I enjoy the dialogue. Brother Paulus, I hope it's okay for you. Any other questions from the audience?
Do you hear our fine bell of Liebfrauen?
Can't hear it, no, unfortunately not.
No. Oh, now it's finished.
Great. I would like to go back into one area which you touched, and that is when homeless means not having the home where you used to live. I think you pointed that out, that somebody moving to Frankfurt is actually homeless from a point of position which you made. It's quite a distinction to talk this way. That means it's quite a radical way of putting somebody moving from place to place. Do our newcomers, do you in the audience actually feel that this is a big issue, as Brother Paulus mentioned it before? How were your experiences when you came? Is that a point which Brother Paulus made, which Frankfurters, locals, people here need to work on more? I thought it was very valid, and I'm taking that as a good advice, Brother Paulus. I think that's good help for people coming to the city. Just wanted to see whether there were other opinions on that.
And I will give you a little. I'm living here in Frankfurt. In my community is a friar from India, living with us since 2 years, and then I see. Pardon for saying this. Yes, it's fine that we can Zoom and Skyping, and he is connected with all the people of the past. And how can you get people from the present in your life? And so if you come to Frankfurt, I will guess you to have a good organized contact management with the past. And I guess you really to say goodbye to hundreds of people and to remain 3 or 4 whom you want to be in touch. 1 call a month or a week, because our brain cannot become free for the new situation. Cannot become free for this. If you go home, then you have to take your phone and you talk to your friend in Barcelona, you try then to here, and so on and so on and so on. Remember Steve Jobs here, yes? You are not God, and you are not the Almighty, and you are not the all-present. And this machine gives you this temptation that if you make a click here, that you can move the whole world. This is not the reality. It is better to have time in the evening for a man or a woman you live together with, and not to say, oh, I have no time, I have to talk to my friend in here and then and there and then, and there is no time to hear the crying neighbor, to hear the crying neighbor.
What are the things you do in your community? When you said you had your colleague, new part in your community coming in from India 2 years ago, what would be typical things which you would look for and help for extremely in the beginning?
It's the first is to some, and it was very hard now the last 2 years, you can understand this, to look what is my interest. If I'm interested in museum, then not to decide I want to look all the museums. So to say I take 2 museums, and every Saturday on 2:30 when there is an open guidance in the museum, I will go to this open guidance, and after 4 months you will see there are always the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or to say I go to the Frauenchurch every Sunday 11 o'clock, and my place is in the 5th row. And you will see after 2 months in the 6th row and in the 4th row always the same people. And you can say, hello, I'm new. I was in Gera in Thüringen in 1992. I got to Thüringen, and I have gone to church with also my clothes. I was as a civilist there. 6 weeks, nobody noticed me. I was in the church. I sang with them. Nobody told me hello. Nobody. It's was for me very extraordinary. And so I tell all the people, please give your life in the first year of presence in Frankfurt. Give this life also a timetable, not only from work, but also in private. If you buy something, go to the Kleinmarkthalle and go every time to the same seller. And do not go to Aldi here and next week Lidl there and then Tankstelle and so on. Yeah, then you live the whole time as a solid as a solo man, and so with my Indian fry here, it was very hard to guide him to go outside. No, you could not go outside, and your video talks. In video, I saw, pardon that I have to tell it to you, you cannot begin friendship in video talks. You can remember the friendship, you can remember the first experiences when you have a video talk now, but to start, so I cannot believe parship. I know that only 11th minutes is somebody falls in love with somebody in the internet. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this.
Thanks again for your views. We've got a question from Jim Frankfurt, if you want to go ahead. Jim,
hello, Jim.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. Perfect.
Okay, good. So as somebody who is Auslander, but have been here in Germany for a long time, and coming from a culture which is Asian, what you say about if you meet old people on the street, don't say, you know, what I can help you, but you ask them, you know, what they can help you, because for people from Asia, we respect the old people. We think we can learn from the old people. Right. This is the culture. And what I would like to is to make suggestion. Not sure this is a good idea. I think Frankfurt used to be very close to American military base, and also Frankfurt is a city. There are a lot of people who are retired and can speak reasonable English, just like our speaker here. And I think there might be an opportunity that there are many foreigners, whether they are just arriving or they have been around, they are still like what our speaker here say, don't go to Audi, but go and meet the local and support the local. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to have a dialogue with the senior people in Frankfurt, who perhaps most of the time just sitting alone in the park, but now they are make like someone with knowledge to share about Frankfurt. Whatever they learn about Frankfurt history and so on, I don't know if this is a good idea. We just want to meet people who are retired, but who would like to speak to foreigner and share. And at the same time, we can make this a donation event.
Mm-hmm. And Jim, have you tried, or what is your experience with that?
No, I mean the challenge is we want to make this a donation event, like says to the church, and it could be like online. It can be like coming for breakfast, but engaging not just people who are totally helpless, but engaging a kind of pro bono from the Frankfurt retired people who like to contribute their time to educate the newcomer.
Yeah.
I think it's an excellent idea. It sounds great.
This is totally missing right now in Frankfurt, because whenever you talk about this, then the different AFL come, and then the cost will be too high.
Agree. Jim, Newcomers Network, the organization which I present and obviously is hosting this Stammtisch, will take that as an idea, because I think we are a big network which can help and support with that. So thank you for raising that, and I think it's an excellent idea and it would work well. Let me think with some colleagues and get some ideas out on there how we could support that. Thanks for raising that. Excellent.
Yeah, just a background, like I mean, there are a couple of big international network in Frankfurt, and Newcomer Network is one of the very historical one, has been around for a long time. And then for foreigner, we go either meet up or we go to another network called
Internations or something.
But the Internation network now is collapsed for Frankfurt. It's zero, and because of the pandemic.
And it's gone all to online, and there's no fun. It was really about meeting people before.
Yeah, but therefore we need a creative way to and this is why I think if we can tap into this senior Frankfurt who are retired teacher, who are retired, and this dialogue will, I believe, will mobilize interest.
I think a very good idea, and I promise to take that forward.
The reason why this has to be retired, because most of the German colleagues I know and the community members I know, they have spent every day 9 to 5, and they don't want to go online anymore. Agreed. But the retired people, they have time to read, and they are the more suitable one. And once we mobilize this network, then we can talk about how to create jobs. Because a lot of the foreigner here, they can't contribute, partly because of language, partly because they do not know the system here, and so on and so on. Having just something to read is not enough. They need to understand what is the history of Frankfurt, how this is built, and how it contributes to democracy and to mobilize their wish to contribute to the city. And this is missing.
Absolutely. Jim, again, I think it's a great idea. I am afraid we can't solve or get a solution right away, but I'd like to take it away and for further discussion with the networks, and obviously with the strong partners which we have for International Stammtisch, to see whether we can build something out of that. Ruben, I can see your hand raised. If that is the last comment or question, Ruben, I'd love to have it and would like to hear from you. Ruben, it's yours.
Yes, hello, from Niederhausen. I'm now with my 3 dogs here near Frankfurt. I just want only to say congratulations for this platform, for this possibility. I work with Brother Paulus in Franziskus Treff, and I'm Peruvian. I was born in Peru, live in Frankfurt 31 years, and I see how different the time was for 30 years ago. We didn't have internet in this form or this platform. Just incredible for me to see how easy it is to make contacts with other persons. But my only recommendation for newcomers in Germany is just only to suchen. What is the name? To suchen.
Search, look for.
To look for here in Germany. Germans like many groups, organizations. They make soccer or basketball or cooking. It's the best form to integrate you in the in Frankfurt City. And if you, of course, if you are interested in religion, there are many organizations like Liebfrauen and others. I have taken 2 years. That was very difficult for me. 2 years to integrate in one group. But another recommendations is it's very nice to have, of course, contact with many expatriates or many foreigners. But I think the best form is to have contact with Germans, to speak German and to have this new culture. Just only what I have to say, but congratulations, a nice platform.
Thank you, Ruben, for sharing the feedback. Really appreciate. And I enjoy our little walk with you in Niedernhausen with your dog. So thank you for taking us for a small walk with you in Niedernhausen. Cheers and bye-bye. Thank you so much. Good to have you with us. Brother Paulus, thank you so much for your time today. Are there any remarks or anything left which we missed, or would you like to add something? Otherwise, we are fine to close and do some of the little housekeeping final words then.
Yeah, because my friary is waiting for me. We have now evening. We have now dinner in the evening. Monday is our brotherhood evening.
Oh, okay. So we don't want to interrupt with that too long. Thank you so much for sharing the time with us today. I think it is important that we have the possibility to stay in contact. You've shared websites. I think there's a possibility to interact on that. I myself am a very fond Facebook friend of your various organizations and sites, and I think it's great to see what you are doing and to follow you. So I'm suggesting everybody, if you are interested, that's a very nice way of keeping contact. And of course, in any future, any possibility to meet in person and come back and see each other. Brother Paulus, it was a true pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much for sharing the time with us and for giving us some really excellent, great insights. A wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you to be invited here to your audience here, and please come in and knock on my door, call who is Brother Paulus and say hello to me. And because here in Liebfrauen is a place where nobody is a stranger, here is a house where you can feel at home for a moment. Very welcome, everybody here, and have a blessed evening and a blessed life here also in Frankfurt.
Thank you very much, Brother Paulus. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm really amazed, such a big group tonight, and thank you for joining in. I did share a couple of links if you do want to look at our YouTube channel. As I said, this is recorded, so if you want to review and look at it in the recording, it'll be on YouTube in the next couple of days. If you missed the other Stammtisch before, there are some which were recorded. I think the one about gardens in Rhine-Main was really excellent to show you some of the highlights in Frankfurt. We had a wonderful newcomers talk about women empowerment with the American Consul General here. And also, if you want to register for our newsletter, you will be invited for other sessions. That's a great opportunity. We are already planning our next session, always on the first Monday of the month, and you are already invited today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Have a good evening. Dankeschön and good night. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Good night. Bye-bye. Dankeschön.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bruder Paulus. Bruder Paulus, wunderbar, vielen, vielen herzlichen Dank. War eine sehr, sehr interessante und mit vielen guten Ideen gespickte Session heute.
Ja.
Danke, dass Sie sich die Zeit genommen haben.
Sehr gerne.
Sie haben es an den Fragen gemerkt, es war großes Interesse da. Vielen Dank.
Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen. Alles Gute.
Danke,
Tschüss.
bis bald. Judith,
bald.
vielen Dank für die technische Unterstützung. Bis bald. Dankeschön.
Bis bald, danke.
Gute Nacht.